Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That's Eric over there.
Hello.
That's Vanessa over there.
Hello.
I'm Kelly. Boy, guys, it feels like we haven't been together in forever, but it's really only been 2 weeks.
It's definitely only been 2 weeks.
It's so bizarre.
I'm pretty sure that the month that I saw you last was definitely something close to this one.
You guys, I do a lot of reading and research and all this stuff, and I came across a very, very interesting fact that I think our listeners would like to know. Did you know there are 4 million podcasts right now?
Whoa.
Sounds about right.
But every 90 days, only 400,000 of them put out a new episode.
Oh.
And when you knock that down to weekly, it is exponentially smaller.
Ooh.
So I know that there are people who listen to this show and really love it and can't wait for it. I really appreciate that. We are doing something that apparently very few are doing. And you can show us a little love by throwing some money at the PayPal.
Or buy us a coffee.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really talked about the fact that we have a subscription available on the PayPal.
Yeah, probably because it's weird. But that's okay.
We're so bad at actually saying.
We are so bad at selling ourselves. It's unreal.
Yes, yeah,
it's absolutely unreal.
We have a buy me a coffee thing too, which can also be a subscription, but they don't use PayPal anymore, so I'm not sure.
How many years have we been going? How many episodes?
4.
4, but
weeks are just
every
flying
single
off a calendar as we do this.
Every single week, every single Thursday, and so that's the value for value. If you're getting some value out of this, go ahead and turn that back into whatever value you think is appropriate and give it back. One of the ways you can do that is Eric started up on Facebook an actual page that you can post and discuss things on, unlike our other page, which we fought with, and Danny Williford was just beating us over the head with the fact that he couldn't post anything. And then it turned out, you can't actually post on business pages.
I reached out to the lady who runs the Crypticon Seattle stuff, which has a lot more people involved than we do.
Right.
And she said, a little while ago, they shut down all Facebook pages that are like labeled as a business or something like that. So only approved people can post. And by approved people, it means like admins.
Admins, yeah.
People like that.
And even Carlos had told me that was the case. And I was like, that was not always the case.
No.
And he said, yes, it is. You're an idiot.
It was not.
Because I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's the Berenstein Bears all over again.
Could be. That's right. Damn it.
But no, I love our new page, and I love that anyone can post, and I love the conversations that have been started there. The only thing I don't love is when I posted a question, but there were so many Autobot welcome to our group that my question got buried underneath everyone who was joining, and finally people responded.
I was going to say, it's got a lot of interest
now. It does now.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement on that page, and it is. I don't know if there's some way you get to it, but I assume if you search for Strange Eons Radio Talk,
it should show up.
It should show up, and you're going to recognize a lot of names on there because it's Danny Williford and Carlos and Micah and everybody commenting and discussing stuff. And I decided to use it as a way to talk about films that I wouldn't normally talk about on the podcast.
Good idea.
So
that's awesome.
I think that there's a little extra value there if that's what you want, is us,
And we love interacting with you guys. So
absolutely.
Please jump on there. Please talk to us, ask questions, engage with us about the show. We love hearing what you have to say.
Absolutely.
Needle Danny, because apparently he wants to be needled and argue with people. So we'll see how that goes.
Danny is a rabble rouser. But yeah, if you want to see more of us shooting our mouths off, it's right there.
Available at your fingertips.
Strange Eons Radio Talk on Facebook, because as cool as we are, we're still old people, and Facebook is about as quick as we can go.
Unfortunately, we are set in our ways. We're not yet ready.
I mean, whatever, Twitter or something never worked real well for us ever. I mean,
Yeah.
even before all the weird stuff that's going on.
X.
But part of what I like about Facebook, it feels more, you can see the people that are talking. Like Instagram, all the comments are buried under a giant picture, and
Mhm.
TikTok, you've got a video, but all the comments are someplace else. And it's
Mhm.
just a stream of comments. Facebook is still more of a set conversation.
And it also
place.
feels like Instagram, which I actually enjoy because it's
Oh, yeah.
just photos, but Instagram and TikTok, that all seems to be kind of based on the celebrity,
Mhm.
and you then just say, "I love you," and all this stuff.
You just say,
I
I'm
like,
really cool, and you should just listen to my mouthpiece now.
yeah, and I like the conversation. I like the interaction.
Yep.
So I feel like Facebook is still the only place you can really get that going.
Yeah.
Watch this space for our upcoming live journal, where
Oh, jeez.
we're going to really go deep.
I hear MySpace is still around too.
MySpace is incredible. We've got it. We could start a band. We can have our track play when you go to our site. Oh, guys, it's going to be so cool. Anybody knowing HTML, we can make a cool background wallpaper.
Make a donation and we'll make you one of our top 8.
You guys, I was talking with our listener friend, Will Lau, and he occasionally gives me suggestions on things that he thinks I might like. And one of the things was a Japanese artist named Kazuo Umetsu.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, boy, I've not heard of this guy at all, but I'll check it out. And so I jumped onto Amazon and I decided to download a Kindle, and it said, you purchased this in 2019.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, I did. And so then I sifted through everything that I have ordered, and I found it, and I just bought it, never read it, don't know why, but I started reading it, and it's called The Drifting Classroom.
Oh.
And it is fantastic.
Really?
It is about a group of school kids, like first through sixth graders, who suddenly something happens, and their school and the yard around their school is now like drifting in the cosmos.
Whoa.
Is it this a manga?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and it feels, just based on the art, that it was probably from the 80s or maybe early 90s. And it is a lot of screaming kids, which I love. I'm a big
It's
fan
true.
of that.
Yeah.
But the story is so much fun, and it's really interesting. And I just wanted to say, hey, thanks, Will.
Oh, my gosh. That's
Good
such
call.
Such a cool recommendation. I love that. Well, it's been a hot minute since I've gotten to share some of the films that I checked out, but I did go weirdly, how strange for me, to a movie theater and saw something in the realm of very Vanessa oriented. I saw the new Ninja Turtles movie,
There it is.
Mutant Mayhem.
Wonderful.
Did either of you check this out yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh my
I really want to.
God,
but I
you
just have not.
guys.
Well, tell
Jeez.
us.
It's really good. So I do have to say, you need to change your expectations about what you're going to get, because if what you're desperate for is the thing we've seen 1,000 times, you're going to be mad.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're like, I want Shredder and I want Bebop and Rocksteady to be like his henchman, and I want to see like Krang somewhere out there, and I want to see the Turtles as quote unquote teenagers, but they're actually obviously in their 20s. You're going to be a little sad about it. But as a rewrite, as a rework, and as some new art that is done by people who grew up loving the Ninja Turtles and playing with the action figures, there are so many amazing Easter eggs in it. It's incredible. Like, there was a point near the end of the Ninja Turtles original cartoon where they were just pumping out awful characters for the action figures that they could sell. And you see them pop up in this movie and you're like, oh my God, you're back. This is amazing. I would also say that the Ninja Turtles themselves are awesome. They're all actual like teenagers, like maybe freshmen in high school kind of age, maybe
nice.
even like middle school. I can't quite remember, but they're young, and they're voiced by young actors, and their interests are young, and there isn't like I'm too tight in my shell joke. Thank fuck. Because if I have to hear one more of those, I'm going to die. They are not aliens.
Oh,
Thank
God.
fuck. Somebody did actually read the comic. Like, there's definitely a lot of love being given through this. My literal only complaint about it is that I think that the voice of Michelangelo is a bit miscast. And his character seems to be mushed in a bit with Donatello, which for me is great because I love Donatello. And if you make a Donatello Michelangelo hybrid, I am going to be in such a happy place. But they gave Mikey not enough to do and not a great voice actor. But other than that, seriously, like the bad guy, everything feels fresh. It's new. It's weird. It's really weird, but it's super fucking enjoyable.
That's cool.
Probably my second favorite film after the first live action.
Man, this got really nerdy really quick.
Shush.
Not on this show.
You mean it got
What?
really cool really quick?
I'm so happy to hear this because I remember when the news came out that we spoke off the air going, oh no, this can't be good.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to hear that someone who is as big a fan as you are ended up loving it that much.
It feels good. It feels fresh and it feels well loved. And again, if you want a very specific thing, you're probably going to be pissed. You're probably going to go on Twitter and be real mad about it.
Have you read a lot of that kind of stuff or something? A lot of people?
No, I just know. You just know when you see something, you're like,
Geek
oh,
world.
like this male character who showed up in 5 minutes of one episode in the 80s, which I guess is now, 30-something years ago. People are going to be really mad they're now voiced by a woman. You know, like that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see. Or Splinter is definitely a rewrite. But that it feels good at the same time. So it's fucking weird, but it's fun.
Cool.
I saw the trailer and I was like, this artwork is wild. It
It's so
really
wild.
appealed to me.
Yeah. They clearly took a page from the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse
Right.
movies. Like they saw the art that you can do and the kinds of limits you can push, and they went for it.
Very
Nice.
cool. Would you say that it is aimed squarely at kids or?
It's a kids for sure. It is a kids movie,
Okay.
but it is also aimed at anyone who enjoyed the Ninja Turtles as a kid too. Because there are so many Easter eggs in there. You're just going to be having a wildly good time going, oh my God, it's that thing. Oh my gosh, whoa, they referenced this other thing. And it's not just the action figures that they're referencing. They're referencing different movies, different artwork, they're referencing a lot of the canon.
Nice. I know that Eric, you and I are more of the original gritty 80s comic book stuff, but I don't know. There have been things that have come out that have been Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff that I've been quite pleased with.
It hit the action figures and cartoons about that age when you get in your teens where you pull out the bullshit that goes, oh, I don't like these kids stuff anymore. I'm not going to pay any attention to it. Then 10 years later, you go, come on.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that there was a point in my life where I said, I'm too old for toys?
I know.
Not looking around this house.
Couple summers, maybe.
I don't believe that for a moment. I don't believe there was even a minute in which you were like, I'm going to walk past this toy that I think looks really cool and it's not going in my shopping bag.
All right, whatever.
Well, I also watched a listener suggested film.
Whoa.
Because, I'm doing that 100 Days of Horror films.
Yeah.
And, Michael DeBronzo said, I got something for you. I'm like, all right. Shriek of the Mutilated.
Oh.
Let me tell you, this is awesome.
Oh.
Really?
I mean, it's horrible.
Oh.
But it's awesome.
I don't know how to feel right now.
It even has popcorn by Hot Butter being played in a party where they actually have a popcorn machine in the corner making popcorn while everybody's getting drunk.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, this is deep. It's sometime in the 70s. I don't know. But it's a Bigfoot sort of. So it's actually more of a Yeti.
Okay.
And they have a great idea. This is a Yeti that magically disappears when modern people come around it.
When modern people?
Yes.
Oh.
Modern people is like of the words they use.
Oh.
Or modern man or modern person. But it's like, which actually doesn't happen.
Oh.
When it shows up. I gotta tell you though, the look of the Yeti mask, they should have gone with the invisible creature.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
It's so hilarious. I mean, it's epically bad. But it's really, really fun to watch. It is cracked me up through a good good chunk of it, and just with the ridiculousness of it, the leads are so the drama. We talked a lot about earned moments of rising to anger. No, we don't need that. I'm going to be screaming right from the start. And it twists and turns, and it actually ends up being something completely different that has nothing to do with Yetis by the end. So, thank you. Well recommended. I don't think I've posted it yet that I've watched it on the 100 Days page, but I will. It'll show up there in a little while for sure. And thanks for that one. I am now, the other one I believe was Night of the Beast, which I think is also a Bigfoot movie.
Yeah.
You recommended to me, which I haven't watched yet, but I will.
I like the Bronzo, but he's out to hurt you.
It's tough.
I've seen him suggest these kind of movies to Pete Rollick too, and it's. I would always say, don't do it. Don't you do it.
See, I'm going to be a tough hit for that because I love this shit, and I would rather watch this than a medium budget boring film
For sure.
anytime. There's another. God, I'm blanking on the name. It's one that I watched for it. This awful Oklahoma-made horror film from like 88 or 89. And it was so sincere that I just loved it.
Oh, wow.
It's terrible. It's awful. There's nothing redeeming about it as a film.
Okay.
But just as this time capsule, it was just wild. And I posted that on the 100 Days, and I had like 2 or 3 people down below. I feel the same way. I love this movie. I don't know why. It's terrible. While you talk about yours, I'll see if I can find at least the name so I can tell you guys when you get back around to me.
Okay. I should note that you can find Michael DeBronzo and his bad movie choices on the Lovecraft Easing podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, speaking of DeBronzo, he and I have been going back and forth about a movie, and it suddenly surprisingly dropped, and I rented it, and it is called Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh, yes.
I've heard many things.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to like in this. I'm still scratching my head why it wasn't called something like Dracula, Last Voyage of the Demeter or something like that. Because if you're a Dracula fan, you know what this story is. But if you're not, I don't think you have any idea what this story is.
You're like, wait, what's up with the boat? What's up with the dirt buckets?
Yeah, so I liked it, and even though it follows the story fairly well, takes a few turns there just to keep it interesting, but you know what you're getting into as far as how this story ends. And even so, they did a couple of things with the endings that I thought, oh, that's nice. So, soft recommend for a $20 rental, absolute recommend for a $5 rental, which has to be coming very soon.
Nice.
Amazing. I am surprised that okay, so the stinger, the very, very last thing on this movie, you were okay with?
Oh, so you watched this. Why didn't you jump in?
I feel like I thought I told you I watched it, and it's been so recent that I've seen you that
Didn't we already talk about
we
this?
definitely had a conversation about this already.
Yeah, I liked it because we know how it ends.
Well,
As far as the book goes, like, you know how it ends?
Well, you know how the story of the Demeter ends and everybody involved.
But I mean, like, the person who this mostly centers around suddenly having a new role.
Right. But we know how it ends.
Okay.
I felt like he had a very nice arc.
Yeah.
Regardless of what his ending is.
Yeah.
He was a hero.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Well, it's so hard because otherwise you give away the whole plot, and there's only like so much that
there's not a lot of plot.
there's like a few little things you can hinge on here and there. But
well, I mean, I like that in the trailer. It's like there's no way we can let this creature reach London. And if you read the book, you know very well that he reaches London.
Well, too bad.
And they try to do something a little more interesting with the lead character, rather than just kill him outright.
Are they getting a sequel? That's the big question.
Well, yes, the sequel is Francis
Night
Ford
on-
Coppola's Dracula.
That's right.
You
Or
sound like Keanu Reeves.
Nosferatu, or other
Or
Dracula.
any other
Pick your-
movie where Dracula makes landfall and anyone involved on the ship is not in it.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Did that bother you?
Well, I just like sitting in the pub and being like, yes, I have a new mission. And then also seeing the Dracula who we know is going to be there. I was also like, how come no one notices that this dude looks like really fucked up?
He's very much a Nosferatu Dracula.
He's just very like a bat with a top hat now.
Doesn't blend into humanity very well.
Really doesn't. I was like, you can put as many clothes on this dude as you want. He's still going to look not like a human being.
Nosferatu looking at the guy going, you need to hide in a cave a little more.
Yeah, you need some shadows. I guess London wasn't really well lit, but still, I was like, okay.
I felt kind of like that ending was for the people who aren't familiar with the book or whatever reason, that this could have been just a Dracula movie that doesn't follow the book.
Yeah.
Lord knows there's a million of those.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it'd be great to see a YouTube sequel that's 4 seconds long when he turns the corner and
Oh, yeah.
there's Dracula.
Yeah. Do you think he flies away? It turns into a bat. So I will say, though, there were some spectacular moments, especially on the ship. I loved, because obviously he's taking people out one at a time and he's doing so in different ways. But the one where he's just looking like injured and crawling and strange.
Yes.
That was like my favorite kill. I was just, this is such a cool way to play this awful moment. And I've never seen a movie also that's a vampire movie where you genuinely are like, oh, it would really fucking suck to be bit by this and like slowly have your life drained out. I've never had a film where I was like not thinking that was just a cheesy thing I was looking at.
Yeah. I was also surprised, to see a child on the boat. And I was like, well, how are they going to do this? Well, they did it.
Yep. No problem.
Yep.
Dust off hands. No big deal. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you checked that out. I was really, really happy to hear your thoughts on it. I also went and saw a film that recently came out. I don't know if it bombed or not. Blue Beetle.
Oh, it bombed.
it bombed.
Oh dear.
Worse than The Flash even.
Oh no.
Did you like it?
It's super charming. It's I don't know, like I am definitely tired of superhero stuff.
Yeah.
I am caring about 2% for any time a superhero thing comes out at this point. I'm like, I guess I have to watch you, but I really don't want to. But it was really fun. It had a lot of way better writing than most DC stuff, way better like dynamics and characters than most DC stuff. And I saw it with a mostly Hispanic crowd. Holy shit. That was like so fun because there were people who there's a lot of jokes aimed specifically at anyone who is familiar with Mexican culture, South American culture. And there's a lot of things about like grandma is randomly going to use Vicks vapor rub to solve every solution. And so-and-so is going to have like way too many names. And there was a lot of jokes that people were getting that I probably would have missed. So it was really neat to kind of be in a crowd where the core audience was being like seen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I would soft recommend that. If you want to see a superhero movie and you like Cobra Kai, then you're going to probably enjoy this.
Well, I like that kid. I was really happy to see that he got a big movie.
Yeah.
And then I was disappointed to hear that it has not done well at all. And most people did not enjoy it as much as you did.
Wow.
So,
I mean, it's a kid's movie. Again,
sort of like Shazam, but even younger.
It's not younger than Shazam. It's a little older. He's like maybe 21, 22.
Oh, okay.
Playing age. So, I mean, old enough to drink, but not old enough to be hardened by life is where you're at. It's not Batman. Right. It's not dark. It's uplifting. It's family oriented. That is the problem. It's not a Snyder. It's not a Snyder film.
Well, I'll definitely be checking it out when it swings into Max or whatever
Yeah.
it'll be.
Yeah.
Whoever gets it. So I'm going to hit this one quick before I talk about the one I really want to talk about.
Sure.
But this
Oh my
is
gosh.
Blood Lake was the movie. And this is
Ah.
what I wrote about 100 Days. And Jason Weiss mentioned it. I'm like, well, that sounds interesting. So thanks for that. It's kind of like a no-budget, charming film that feels like a bunch of friends went out with a camera to make a movie. Movies like this always feel more real to the time than anything with a big budget. A lazy summer hanging out, not really know what to do, but not caring until you know the killer starts taking people out. Make no mistake, this is not a good movie by any metrics, but I enjoyed the hell out of watching it.
Blood Lake.
Yeah, it's cheap as hell. It's wildly bad. The one I wanted to talk about was the Night Strangler, I believe is the Seattle-based
sequel,
one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Those are so good. I can't believe I have never watched any of these movies.
I am a little stunned myself.
Yeah, but I am going to now finish watching the series, that's for sure. But
Well,
is.
now prepare to be disappointed.
I figured, yeah.
What is this?
The Night Stalker series.
Yeah.
Night Strangler is the sequel movie, TV movie to the original Night Stalker TV movie.
Did this come out recent?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
70s. And it takes place in Seattle. And what was it? Malignant that had the bad
Mhm.
underground.
Seattle. Yeah.
This one's like times 10.
Oh no.
I mean, they have electricity
Whoa.
and full houses with
Yeah.
multiple
3-story buildings.
Incredible.
stuff with like carriages
Jeez
sitting in
Louise.
the street and stuff. It's like, wow. But it's a lot of fun. And there are a few shots of Seattle, which look really cool. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, as well.
Because it's
looks very different.
1975 Seattle.
But man, the lead guy in that, the actor's name, I can't remember.
Darren McGavin?
Yeah, he makes the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
You pick somebody else in that role, and I think he got an okay,
Yeah.
average, made-for-TV movie, but he is so good. But
Who played the Night Strangler? Was that Tom Skerritt?
no, I don't think so. I didn't recognize.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
he's a known actor. There's a lot of.
It's been a long time since I've seen it,
Yeah.
but I
I would
remember
imagine so.
I remember liking the movie well enough. I didn't think it was nearly as good as Night Stalker, but
Yeah, it's not.
like you said, Darren McGavin is so easy to watch.
It suffers a little bit because it's like 20 or 30 minutes longer. It's like a feature length where the Night Strangler or the first one is shorter.
Oh, interesting.
And is it based on is this just like a fully unique film, or is it based on a book,
Yes.
or is it based on real events?
No, it's Richard Anderson.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
the-
Oscar Goldman.
Yeah, it's from $6 Million Man.
Yeah, they were both written by, I believe, Richard Matheson.
Yes.
Oh.
And the
the
movies,
writing.
yeah, and the movies were like The Night Stalker was like the highest rated ABC movie
Oh.
ever until whatever came along next. But that started the whole Night Stalker series, and then there's a couple of good ones in there. There's a nice actual direct sequel to the Night Stalker in there.
Cool.
But otherwise, it's pretty.
It was pretty short-lived. It didn't
Yeah.
make it long at all. It's
They just didn't have the money to keep it up.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they're and the whole thing's been remastered and put out by Kino Lorber, so it looks fantastic.
Very good. Do you have the whole series then? Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. Well, okay, guys, how about we take a little break, and then when we come back, we're talking rip-off movies.
My name is Pete Buchanan. I'm the plant manager of Velcro Canada, celebrating its 50th anniversary. The invention of the Velcro product came from a burdock burr. The inventor, George de Mestral, was walking with his dog through the Alps and was intrigued by how well these managed to stick to his dog's fur and to his pant legs. Velcro products have been used in a variety of applications for holding down artificial turf in sports stadiums. The infamous David Letterman fly on the Velcro wall. The next 50 years is going to be an exercise in continuing our evolution along our innovation path with focus on operational excellence and customer intimacy.
Hello?
Let's see who's called the Strange Eons radio hotline.
Hey guys, it's Mike the Bronzo just saying what's up. And I want to congratulate Eric on adding Shriek of the Mutilated and Night of the Demon to his watch list of 100 movies. They are god awful. And Night of the Demon is the 1980 Bigfoot rips off a biker's dick for pissing on the side of the road. Night of the Demon. Nothing but the best, buddy. Good luck. Can't wait to hear how it makes you feel inside. Take it easy, guys.
We have returned, you guys. This was my subtopic or subgenre topic. And the idea of this was that there are all these movies that are legitimate, big blockbusters. And then there's all these movies that kind of leech off of them by trying to be like them. Some of them are actual good movies.
Yeah.
Some of them are not. But what I chose.
Oh, a good one.
Is an amazing one. I chose from 1989 a movie called Blades.
Golf. For the pros at Tall Grass, it's a game of big money and prestige.
We're going to have the finest tournament this golf course has ever seen. My God, we're talking TV, Roy.
A game where playing around implies much more than just 18 holes.
I think I like your shaft better.
And a game where the term sudden death has very recently taken on a whole new meaning.
I've seen mutilations, amputations, and decapitations.
We're dealing with a maniac using some kind of a power tool.
His head had been severed clear of his shoulders.
What are we going to do?
Now, they are faced with the dilemma of whether to call off the tournament.
Absolutely not.
But you still don't know what you're dealing with, do you?
Or confront the deadly killer. On his own turf.
Oh my God!
Blades. Just when you thought it was safe to putt.
Eric, I know you have seen this just recently.
Man. Oh, I got to comment about it when you're done. That yes.
Okay, budget
sir.
of $650,000.
Did you start your timer?
Oh shit! Fuck. Piss.
How could you? How could you start your budget?
Set it for 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right, yeah. Give myself less than 10 minutes.
Oh, we see it. It's official.
It's been so long. I mean, it hasn't, but it feels like it has.
It's only been a week.
Budget of $650,000. No box office. I know that it had a very, very short theatrical run, probably in New York or something, because this is a trauma film. The audience gives it 37%, and I say, fuck off. It has no critics rating.
Really?
It is written and directed by Thomas R. Rodinella, who has 6 credits, including A Girl's Guide to Sex and Scrappers. And it is also written by John P. Finnegan, who has 3 credits, including Girls' School Screamers and All's Fair.
Excellent.
And also William R. Pace, who has 9 credits, including A Girl's Guide to Sex and All's Fair. So these 3 guys hung out a lot together. Starring Robert North, who has 1 credit. This movie. However, Eric, he was an executive producer on Barbarian Queen 2 and Deathstalker and the Warriors from Hell.
Excellent.
Yes, there you go.
It also stars Victoria Scott, who has 3 credits.
Oh my God.
But the other 2 movies are Witness and Kingpin.
Oh my God. Like
she's got to be
Barmaid
like
3 or
Yes.
something.
totally
Exactly.
like woman with stroller.
Right, right. And then Jeremy Whelan is in this. 6 credits, including The Beastmaster, Tragedy of King Lear, and Hot Splash.
Ew.
Vanessa, I'm guessing you've never seen the movie Blades.
I have not.
Okay, great.
Is it, wait, okay. Is it going to be riffing off Blade?
No, but you tell me if you figure it out.
All right. Ice Castles.
First of all, this movie is amazing. And we start with a bunch of people who are sitting on the edge of the water at night, and they've got a little fire going. They're eating conspicuously placed Doritos.
Yes.
And then this one girl leaves the fire, and her and her boyfriend go take a walk instead. Side note, she is wearing a Kiss Animalized t-shirt, and I was like, rock on, especially since in '89, that shirt would have been kind of goofy to be wearing.
Yeah, that's several years after that album.
So as they walk, they pass a fluttering flag, which tells us they are on the edge of a golf course. They end up getting frisky in a field of long grass, and of course, that's when they are attacked. We don't see what's coming after them, but it is shot point of view, much like the shark in Jaws, and it has a surprisingly Jaws-like feel to the music. So this movie, some might say, is a ripoff of Jaws. I say it's a homage.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And we all know the story of it, so I'm not really going to tell you the story because, I'm just going to tell you the scenes that are so much
good.
Jaws that it's hilarious.
Oh, man.
By the way, Jaws is my favorite movie. I'm finding out that it is a lot of people's favorite movie, so we all know the story. The credits of Jaws, they're all underwater, perhaps the point of view of the shark, and the credits of Blades are all flowing through long grass as if it is the point of view of a lawnmower.
Really well done.
Yeah. This is shot beautifully, actually. It's shockingly watchable. In Jaws, we get Sheriff Brody, played by Roy Scheider, who is a big city cop who has moved out to his tiny community and is not being embraced by the people who live there. And in Blades, we get Roy Kent, the new pro instructor at the Tallgrass Golf Club.
Excellent. 1-to-1.
Yeah. In Jaws, we get the scene where Brody and his deputy go over the sand dune to the police area where the half-eaten body of the first girl is found. And in Blades, Roy and his assistant go to see the bodies of the people who were killed at the beginning, and they are in a sand trap, of course. In Jaws, we have the mayor of the town who assures everybody that everything is all right. And in Blades, we have the owner of the golf course who, even though they just found 2 mangled bodies in a sand trap, assures everybody everything is going to be all right. Plus, he wants to keep it kind of quiet because they have a big golf tournament coming up and it's going to be televised, and it means a lot to the golf club.
No, not televised.
We also learned that something happened in Roy's past that has made him kind of a wash-up in the sport. It's silly character development, but it does pay off at the end.
True.
In Jaws, they introduce us to the beach with all these people playing on it, building sandcastles, swimming, sunbathing. And in Blades, they do the same thing with the golf course, although it's people playing on golf course that are bumping into each other. They don't know how to do anything. It's very clever, and it's kind of ridiculous unless you know the scene they're referencing. Of course, there's another death and a golf course club meeting that's very similar to the town meeting in Jaws, where the cops assure all the club members that everything will be fine. Roy wants to postpone the tournament, but the club owner absolutely will not allow it. While Roy is doing his own investigation, he finds a golf ball that he's trying to understand. What could have possibly cut it up and chipped it so badly? There is a Quint-type character who shows up here, a big bald guy who used to be the caretaker landscaper of the club. He's a very mysterious man that Roy meets when he's doing the investigation. He finds a stain on the grass, but it's not blood, it's oil. This guy's name is Zeke, and Zeke tells him that it's a lawnmower oil that you would use for colder weather. He's considered an outcast, and he's going to be played up mostly as a suspect for the murders that are coming up. In Jaws, finally, it's the little Kittner boy who is killed when everybody is at the beach, and everybody goes running out of the water and off the beach, terrified, while Sheriff Brody is running towards the water. Remember, kids are getting knocked over, babies are being scooped up, everyone is screaming. In Blades, one of the caddies goes into the woods to grab an errant golf ball, and all of a sudden we hear a lawnmower start up, and all this blood goes spraying out of the woods. And all the people who have been standing around the green of the nearest hole start running back and forth. It's all close shots of their feet and golf clubs falling, a golf bag rolling away. Fucking hilarious. Of course, this is where the club owner announces that they are putting up a reward for anyone who can find the maniac that is killing all the people on the golf course. In Jaws, that's where we see the scene of all the boaters going out with shotguns and meat and roasts as bait, various harpoon guns and stuff. And in Blades, we see the exact same thing, but it's all on the golf course, and it's a guy with dogs, it's a guy with a gas mask and a handgun, it's a guy trying to start up a chainsaw in the background, there's American flags everywhere, everybody's got shotguns and rifles, there's a girl with a hatchet, and then there's just this one scene where these 2 guys fence past the camera.
Oh my God.
It's in a kind of airplane moment.
Oh my God.
Let's see. In Jaws, of course, the hunters catch a big tiger shark, and they think that they've caught the shark that has been killing the people. And in Blades, they catch the quink guy, Zeke, and his lawnmower, and they've strung up the lawnmower like the tiger shark.
So good.
There's a perfect scene right after that where an old lady comes and slaps Roy on the face because her husband was killed by the mower, and he let her husband go golfing, knowing there was a killer on the loose. I'm going to push through this quickly. Roy and his assistant's name is Kelly, which seems weird for me to just go, Roy and Kelly. So Roy and his assistant go to the warehouse where they're holding the lawnmower, and he takes a knife and cuts open the grass catcher bag that was connected to the mower and starts pulling out things, grass, leaves, and an old copy of Playboy magazine, but no blood or body parts. So Roy and his assistant go out at night, and they find a golf cart that has been abandoned halfway in a pond. It's a scene of Hooper going underwater. Blah, blah, blah. I'm running out of time here. The van that Zeke has is amazing. It's got like a crow's nest built on top of the roof.
What?
And random weird shit put on the side.
Oh my God.
So
Instead of chum, they're throwing out bales of hay with balloons attached to it. So when we finally do see the lawnmower, it's got 3 balloons attached to it, like the 3 barrels that are attached to the shark in Jaws.
Oh, so good.
It's fucking fantastic. This lawnmower is actually terrifying. It's like a big, huge roadside thresher.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, that was a fast.
Whoa.
It's because I had so much to talk about on this. The thing is, this is a great little movie. I don't know if you stayed for the after credits scene where they set up the sequel.
Damn it.
Oh my God.
And the only trivia I could find on this is that Vinegar Syndrome has released a Blu-ray with commentary and making of documentary.
Oh,
So
that
one
does
of the
sound incredible.
best things Vinegar Syndrome has ever put out.
Wow.
My first thought as I'm nearing the end of this movie, and they get to the part where it's like, the one guy who's got to die, like on the boat. About how are they going to pull that off? And it's so fucking brilliant. Like, that is awesome. But how is this movie not a giant cult film? Why? It should be playing somewhere in the country every weekend at midnight. It's amazing.
Such I think that in '89, it was just on the cusp of being kind of stupid to still be making Jaws jokes.
Oh, yeah.
And, because that was 15 years after Jaws now. So now we've all come to agree that, Jaws is right up there in the top 10 of movies of all time. Mm-hmm. And seeing something like this, there were so many movies that did Jaws jokes and spoofs and stuff like that. I wouldn't even say this was a spoof. It's shot too well.
Yeah.
The acting is not good, but it's not good in a trauma kind of way.
It's a very fun, weird.
It's a winking at the camera kind of moment, or movie. And they all know what movie they're in.
Okay.
But it really has no right being this good.
Yeah.
I actually watched it twice.
Oh my gosh.
I got to the end and I'm like, man, I wish I had time. I want to start this over and watch it again right now.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, this is called Blades. It's available on Prime.
Yep.
And it's super fun. I think that if you're a Jaws fan, you're going to find a lot to like in this.
I mean, the premise alone, I'm just, my brain is trying to wrap around it, and it sounds absolutely incredible and absolutely awful.
It is kind of awful. I mean, it's really stupid. It's a
sentient lawnmower.
Lawnmower.
With a POV.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you can get past that, it's also a very loving homage to the movie Jaws.
It really is. So good.
That's so awesome. Well, I don't know if I really can live up to that hype, frankly.
Oh, I think it's downhill.
Excrementally.
Excrementally.
Whoa,
okay, set that down.
My new favorite word.
Excrementally downhill
Exponentially.
For me. Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna say set your sights a little bit lower. I went with the 1993 movie Carnosaur.
What the hell is it? Looks like some kind of lizard.
made for the dinosaurs. The Earth was scaled to their dimensions. Human beings are ants crawling through their living rooms.
That's really fabulous. Like a great theme park.
Because I did not realize that there was this incredible Jurassic Park ripoff, and how could I not see a dinosaur ripoff movie?
Oh, shit.
10 minutes on the board.
All right.
Yeah, this is something else.
This is something else. 82 minutes is something else.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It's really specific. Is it?
Oh, wait till you tell you my running time of the film. I've got 82 minutes is great.
Oh my God. It is not available anywhere except for free on YouTube in many different formats.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch it, it is free on YouTube easily. You'll know you've got the right one because they're all the same length. Rotten Tomatoes score of 10% from critics and 23% from audience. So high. Budget $850K. Box office, it brought in $1.8 million.
Yeah,
sure.
Probably because produced by Mr. Roger Corman.
Yeah.
So, director Adam Simon, he actually only has 8 credits to his name for directing, which includes Carnosaur and Brain Dead. He also did the behind the scenes John Landis on An American Werewolf in London. He directed The American Nightmare and also the music video for Marilyn Manson, Cupid Carries a Gun. However, he also helped write on this, and he wrote for Books of Blood. He wrote for Salem, 36 episodes. He was actually the creator of it. Haunting in Connecticut, the movie Bones. He's got a kind of almost okay writing background, which shocked me, frankly.
Based on the movie you watched.
Also co-written by John Brosnan, who is the author of the book. And I'll get more into that shortly. Yeah. So starring Diane Ladd as Dr. Jane Tiptree, 144 credits, including Chinatown, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, Wild at Heart, Inland Empire, and 23 episodes of an Alice TV series. Not sure if it's related. Raphael Sbarge as Doc Smith, 180 credits to his name, including 46 episodes of Once Upon a Time as Dr. Archie Hopper. He's in Risky Business and a slew of lieutenants, majors, detectives, and the like in other various films. Jennifer Runyon as Anne Thrush. 38 credits, including Ghostbusters as female student, Silent Night, Bloody Night 2 revival, and a very Brady Christmas as Cindy Brady, but not in the actual Brady Bunch series. And I did notice a Clint Howard running around here and there. You would know him from 255 different things, including a lot of Star Trek roles, Ice Cream Man, Waterboy, Apollo 13. Oh, and the voice of Roo in Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. I was like, all right, Clint Howard, what do you know? The story follows chickens, if you would believe the first 5 minutes of the film, where there's a lot of stock footage of chickens and a lot of dark green text written on top, letting you know a countdown and what the chickens are being bred against and how they're trying to get the end result of chicken. But it's iguana and chicken and turkey and chicken and ostrich and chicken and mostly other birds and chicken. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure where this is going. Jane Tiptree, a military weapons specialist, has retreated from public life and is doing research with Unic Corp. Or Eunice, I don't know. No one says it out loud. They are letting her work undisturbed as she's got an ironclad 3-year contract where they basically are just all right, go work on your chicken thing, lady. I'm sure it's definitely not anything else. No one knows what she's actually doing. That's fine. However, one of Tiptree's chickens in transport hatches there's a bunch of eggs, and one of them is a dinosaur. And it jumps out. I mean, it's some kind of lizard creature. Definitely not a dinosaur. That jumps out and kills the driver and escapes into the Nevada desert. Wah! At a nearby quarry, Doc Smith, who is not a doctor, I don't think, is a guard for a large construction project's machinery. He keeps an eye on stuff and prevents people from stealing it and messing with it. However, people do keep trying to steal it and mess with it because there is a hippie commune nearby, and they keep showing up all the time, disturbing his drinking time. He, however, manages to catch one. It's a beautiful girl who has a very scary, weird-looking mask on. It's like a ski mask, so it looks like she's going to murder him. But he rips it off, and she's blonde and gorgeous, but he's drunk and he can't tell, and he calls the cops, and they're like, I don't know, we can't be there right now. There's a trucker who's been murdered by something, but why don't you watch her, and we'll show up eventually. However, he's drunk and falls asleep, so she gets away. He then goes to the nearby commune the next day, but decides not to turn her into the police because she's pretty. Meanwhile, the dinosaur, or Soars, begin to murder people nearby, including a researcher's daughter and friends, a Mexican worker, and some policemen. The commune girl ties herself against Doc's machines again with her friends because I guess she didn't learn her lesson. And he's like, haha, well, there's a bobcat loose, probably. Definitely, because that's what seems to be murdering people. I'm going to go get dinner. Hope you guys don't die. He leaves. Weird. Dinosaurs show up and kill and eat the commune people. Things start to take a little bit of twist. So Doc arrives back to find the massacre. He gets the girl free, kind of, but then he sneaks off to the corporation for some reason. I don't know. There's a lot of plot that feels missing. He like steals a guard's uniform and sneaks in there. He's like, what are you guys up to? And I was like, wait, what? How do you know any of the? Okay, that's fine. And leaves the girl alone in his place, and she has to fight a dinosaur. Don't worry, she shoots him with a shotgun, and the next scene, she has a fever in a hospital room. Very confusing. Not quite sure, but this takes a big turn into a weird fever situation. May or may not have something to do with Tiptree doing some kind of experiment, hoping to get rid of human beings and replace them with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sure. Will Doc manage to get a cure out of the lab in time, or will the entire town be slaughtered by the government, who has enacted a quarantine? Who's to say? This film is something. It's something else. The dinosaurs, they're really fun. I will say, like, I really enjoyed them a lot. They did these sort of animatronic dinosaurs that move really like wonky, and they're like really jarring to stare at. And that kind of gives them a fierce quality that I really enjoyed. They have a little one. They have a really big one. They have very different quality of movements, which is fun. The big one's mouth is always covered in blood, which is pretty good. And at one point is way too well lit. And you're like, sir, ma'am, please unlight this dinosaur. We do not need to see it. They can get through anything very easily. At one point, like, one of the little ones, it like jumps into a Jeep through the leather, and I didn't quite see it jump through, and all of a sudden it's eating everyone inside, and I was like, whoa, this thing moves real fast and is real fierce, and everyone's dead. And they're growing very quickly. There's a very, I don't know, it's hard because the acting, the sound design, and the writing are all so bad that it really makes it difficult to sit through and enjoy the murder dinosaur scenes. And we're cutting from scene to scene in a really efficient, yes, we're telling a story way that I just don't care. I'm like, I don't want to know about all these people. I don't care about the commune. I don't care about the cops. I don't care about suddenly caring about the cop's wife who has a fever, who I met one scene previous. There's, I don't know. There's a lot of strangeness in this film that makes it a little boring, which I wish it was just more Dinosaur Massacre. Trivia. This is based on John Brosnan's 1984 sci-fi novel, Carnosaur. It came to the attention of Roger Corman at an author's book signing tour. He first approached Brosnan to write the screenplay in mid-1991 by Corman's wife, Julia, who they all managed to formalize the deal at a bar on napkins. So, there you go. Although Corman secured rights to Carnosaur, it only went into production when he learned of Jurassic Park entering production. Corman felt that, quote, now was the time to shoot our movie because he knew he could make the movie faster than anybody else and get it out first, end quote. Adam Simon, a frequent collaborator with Corman, who was tasked with directing Carnosaur and writing its screenplay, The crew allocated more time to carry out their work than was typical for a Corman production, with Simon having 6 months for research and writing.
Wow.
Yeah. On a small budget, his screenplay ignored key plot points of the novel and reduced a large variety of the dinosaur species to 2. Which is funny because I did not realize there were 2 species. I just knew there was a big one and a little one. According to Corman, the main antagonist, Dr. Jane Tiptree, was originally envisioned as a male actor, to be played by a male actor who had a great deal of strength and at the same time an intelligent person. But with no one available, Corman rewrote the character as a woman and offered it to Diane Ladd, having previously worked together in the 1966 film The Wild Angels. No, I have so much more to say. Although, side note, as TV Guide noted, Jane Tiptree, played by Diane Ladd, is in fact the mom of Laura Dern, starring in Jurassic Park. It's like Corman realized a little something and maybe capitalized on a little something. Weird.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Principal photography lasted 18 days. Let's see. Carnosaur special effects were designed to do real-time models as opposed to the stop motion. They had 7 weeks of pre-pro and they sculpted a 3-foot puppet and then 3 weeks to create a life-size T-Rex. The final creature was 16 foot tall, 25 feet long, and weighed 450 pounds. The guy who crafted this also noted that the craft of the dinosaur also noted the penultimate fight scene was nearly a shot-for-shot remake of the finale of Aliens. So, not just ripping off one thing.
Corman.
And the Hollywood Reporter stated that the film was originally scheduled to open June 11th, 1993, the same day as Jurassic Park. However, a week later, the same magazine announced that Corman was expected to premiere the film on May 13th at the Wilshire Theater in Ogden, Utah, to coincide with the city's new George S. Eccles Dinosaur Park. The film was shown in Ogden, May 13, and received a regional release, May 14th, 1993. So technically, it was a ripoff that came out before the thing it ripped off.
Yeah, this movie is something else. But you saying that it made that much money explains why there is a Carnosaur 2 and Carnosaur 3.
Indeed,
Sure.
Carnosaur 3, Primal Species.
Yeah, I was at Suncoast when this came out, and it actually did all right as far as that kind of a film release.
It's incredible. Yeah, he did some really clever marketing. And I'm sure that in many people's view, they were just like, oh, it's like a side piece dino hustle, who cares thing. But it made enough money that's at least doubling its budget.
For Corman, that's a pretty good box office.
Yeah.
Especially in that point.
Well, Eric, let's see if you are going to continue something that I can now turn into a Spielberg ripoff episode.
Oh.
No.
Nope.
Oh, wow. What a fucking asshole.
Bummer.
Right. Should have said that if that's what you wanted.
I didn't know I wanted it until
Until right
saw
now.
Blades. No, mine is not. Mine film is called Shh. 4 S's and 3 H's.
No. Oh!
Welcome to Simon's.
Nice to meet you again.
Hi.
अगर मैं नीचे आकर तुम्हें यहाँ इस स्क्वॉश कोर्ट पे मार डालूं तो कौन बचाएगा तुम्हें?
6 महीने में ये दूसरा हादसा है। आपकी स्टूडेंट्स सेफ नहीं।
What's wrong with me? मुझे क्या हो गया है?
पॉसिबल सीरियल किलिंग, यानी कि कातिल वही हो सकता है। हमें ये आइलैंड अभी छोड़ना होगा, इसी वक्त।
Come on! Come and get me! मैं यहाँ नहीं मरने वाली!
Oh, God.
That's important because there's a surprising number of things called shh. Including a current Filipino podcast that's all about sexual storytelling called Shh.
Ugh.
Okay.
I don't want
This came out in 2003. The Rotten Tomatoes has not a single review from a professional and only 50 reviews from regular folk. So no consensus at all. Not sure what the budget is, but it made $6.7 million in India. So it actually did fairly well. It's available on Screambox.
Oh.
Directed by Pavan Kaul, who also directed Shh Koi Hoi, a non-hosted horror anthology series.
Wow.
The Answer and Karma. Writer by Ashad Said, who wrote Breath into Shadows for TV. The Office, which apparently didn't do very well in India. Adalat, he also did with 289 episodes of writing. Acting Tanashi Makuri, who was in Chop and Codename Abdul. Shh is her first film. Dino Morea was in The Empire, Metalhead, Fight Club members, members. Which the movie is four college friends start an underground fight club in order to earn quick money. Nevertheless, they become suspects for a murder of a man who turns out to be the mob boss's brother. So, it's not based on Fight Club. Karan Narath, who's Mr. India, turn a dangerous obsession. And D. This is a borrowing of Scream.
Oh.
It starts out in a strange version of Scream where there's a woman playing racquetball in a house, obviously a very large house because it has a racquetball court inside of it. And instead of her boyfriend's up there talking to her and he disappears, and instead of a phone call, you get a loud, like a creepy voiceover person talking to her. And she's like, "Is this you, Sonny?" And when he gets stabbed and falls onto the racquetball court, she finds out, oh, no, it's not. And for some reason, she starts running away from what looks like a security guard. I'm going, that's a weird look for the killer. No, that's not the killer. It's the dude standing on the other side of the air hockey table wearing a weird kind of clown mask. And just before he kills her, because it's Scream, he goes, and then stabs her.
Wow. What a catchphrase.
This is important because it's frequently mentioned. But so then the opening credits are a song, almost snow-clad people dancing around on top of a mountain with the killer, but with a different mask with them. And somebody else who I'm assuming is the singer, although they're not really even pretending to sing. So I don't know what's going on. But hey, all right, it's a music. It's a movie from Hindi, or in Hindi from India. So,
So is this like Bollywood official?
No, I don't think so. This is the story of the lady who's killed. This is her sister. Her uncle is the lead cop. Have they found a killer? No, of course they haven't. And then the killer calls her while she's in a store. It's like, well, when I killed your sister, she was in all white. You're wearing all white. I guess I should kill you now. Like,
wow.
What? Okay, whatever reason you need, I guess. So then we get to meet the group of friends, and these friends are as cliched as you would expect. It's amazing. It's a totally different culture, totally different language, but you've got the same kind of, here's the douchebag, here's the jock, it's all right there. There's that teacher, I think, that discovers the killer's in the ladies' room. And she discovers this because when she sprays an air freshener that they have sitting against the wall that she takes off and sprays, he coughs.
Oh, boy.
And then he kills her. And several minutes later, there's a whole bunch of kids standing around filling the hallway, and there's a bloody footprint. So the cop says, "You, put your foot next to this. Your foot's too small." He does that like 2 or 3 people. And he uses that as an establishment of how you might be the killer. So everybody in the school now knows.
Like, calm down there, Sherlock.
That's right, man. He's really working it. It is kind of fun. There's one really kind of interesting thing about watching this movie, just as a film watching. They switch completely naturally from English to Hindi while they're in general conversation. It's really interesting. Like one sentence is one and then just right into English and back. This sounds kind of cool. Melodrama is huge in this one. tells a sad story. The lead tells a sad story about writing a poem about how great her family is and how sad about her sister's death. Anyways, so then we get the chase through the house, where in the original, she stuck her finger up her nose, said, "What am I doing?" And then he chases her around the house. We get that scene. But she does something smart in that she immediately runs and calls her uncle. Deputy Dewey was a lot more fun than the Uncle Cop, and there's no Gale Weathers in this film.
Oh.
So they capture, based, I think, largely on the footprint, that the guy they think is the killer. He showed up outside the house, like the guy in Scream. So, hey, great, they got the killer. What are they going to do with the remaining 2 hours of this movie?
Oh my God.
It's time for the house party. I'm like, how long is this party going to be? Because, that's the end of Scream. This is the party. So, nope. Oh, but it is time for a song.
Excellent.
This is part of the reason I actually wanted to watch this. I was hoping to have a lot more songs. It only has like 3.
Aww.
And they're all pretty good for, this kind of film. So this one was good with the dorky guy who loves the girl being upset because she likes the new stud guy who's shown up. But, it's fun. Now they go on down to the car wreck scene. They did manage to find a house that looked a lot like it, at least in one shot. But so now they think the killer's dead because he supposedly died in this car wreck or after the car wreck. So now what's left of the 1 hour and 40 minutes left in this film? The first series I told you about was shoe sizes. Well, now there's been a battle in a cold river, so everybody who sneezes the next day at school is automatically a suspect.
Oh my God.
That's how it works.
Yes.
That's right. And more stuff of melodrama of complaining and whining and crying. But then they move far away from Scream and pick up another film because they all decide, let's go on vacation together. And they're doing I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, wow.
And there's another good song about it's 2 of the lame guys complaining about how much she likes this guy as they avoid picking him up as they drive down the road to the to the thing. But he's singing along on a happy walk with his big old backpack, just having a grand old time meeting up with him. I wish they had like 4 more songs in this movie because it would be a lot better. Because that was an awesome one. Will all be revealed in the next hour and 15 minutes left in the movie. Yay, song time. This time they go out to a disco and they do a song and then they get in trouble with the cops because they were dancing too much at the disco or something. It was very hard to understand. That's largely the film. It's almost 3 hours long.
Oh my God.
And I was thinking, okay, it's going to be 3 hours long. It's going to have like 5 or 6 musical numbers. And no, like I said, 3 musical numbers and a whole lot of just talking and being weird. And like, it started off kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And if it'd been 90 minutes, it would have been a lot of fun. But by that last 40 minutes, when they get to the final killer reveal and the killer thing, they reveal the killer. I'm like, oh, good. It's almost over. 20 minutes are left in the movie. I'm like, what the fuck are they going to do 20 more minutes? A lot of running around. No, there's some more killer stuff.
Oh, jeez.
There is, it's just like I think I talked on the last episode, the director of this one also loves to tilt the camera. A lot of tilting of the camera when it's scary time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little more blood than you might see in your average Hindi movie, but it's nowhere near as violent as a U.S. horror film. But, yeah.
This was 2003, you say?
Yeah.
So, yeah, right in that dimension
Yeah, when
film
they were
era.
kind of scrapping to still.
Right.
Man. It's too bad. It sounds like such a fun concept. Like
that's what I thought too.
The Indian singing version. And I get that there's an expectation for different cultures when you go to a movie theater that you are going to go there. There's going to be there's going to be like breaks in between. There's certain ideas. So that's probably why it was as long as it is. But
yeah, there's a lot of overdone drama and weird scenes that could have been 2 minutes long, but it go like 10 minutes. And so, I mean, yeah, my favorite part of the movie was the road song when the guy's singing it on the road and they're driving by him and make her look away so she doesn't seem that they just drove by him on the road, and he continues to sing along and dance in a very happy manner. It's like, I'm just going to walk however many miles it seems to be to get to my destination and get a ride in the back of a car and sing with all the people in the back of the truck. I mean, that seems great.
Yeah.
The killer reveal, does it turn out to be one of her friends?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It is. This movie sets up every red herring, and then that's not the red herring within 10 minutes. So instead of keeping you and then by the end they get to the island and there's 6 or 7 of them there, and it's going, and it's like Scream. There's multiple killers, so it's just so almost half the people here are gonna be killed. Then they have a problem with the boats. They make a raft and they go out to the boat and then swim around in the bottom, what is obviously a pool underwater. It's just wow.
Woof. Woof.
Well, I will not be watching this one.
Don't.
Same. But Blades.
But Blades, yes. Do watch Blades.
That sounds awesome.
It is. It is great.
It's good fun. Vanessa, that means that you have the honor of telling us what we're talking about next week.
Well, you know what, guys? We spent all this time coming up with topics. What did you call it earlier? Subgenres?
Subgenres.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Screw that.
Oh.
Just bring something fun. Bring something cool. Bring something you want to talk about. And yeah.
Like
and watch.
A potluck? Then genre doesn't matter. Whatever.
Does not matter. Just
cool.
I know what I'm bringing.
Nice.
And it's random. So I expect the same from a lot of you.
Okay. I can dig this.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
There are no rules. That's my rule.
Okay, well, that means that this is the part where we thank everybody for participating in the Value for Value model, for liking, sharing posts, for joining the Strange Eons Radio Talk page on Facebook. All of that stuff we appreciate so, so much.
Yeah. Come in and comment on what you think of the movies. Say, dude, shh is amazing. Screw you.
Right.
All more power to you.
Excellent.
Right. Or leave us a message on the Strange Eons Radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266, and let us know if we can use it on the air. I really love it when we get people calling in. We unfortunately don't get very many people calling in. We have one.
Yeah. You've already heard it if you're listening to us talk right now.
Oh. Wow, what an incredible message.
Well, thank you so much for leaving that message, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you, listener, for calling and doing such a thing.
Okay, well, that is the show for this week. We are going to be back in 7 short days, and we are talking about whatever the heck we want to talk about.
Damn right.
Nice.
See you next Thursday.
You're so proud of yourself.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what I mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Oh, I'm too tight in my shell.